Alright, hey guys, how's it going? So I got a cool song for you today. I just heard this for the first time a few days ago, and it really kind of made an impression on me. I've been hearing a lot of new music lately. I've been getting inspired by a lot of new artists, a lot of new bands, especially a lot of indie music. There's a lot of great music out there. You just kind of have to dig to find it, or it has to find you. It's not going to be out there in the mainstream, but this is the only song I've heard by her, but I was really kind of taken back by it. I thought it was very catchy, it was very clever, what she's writing about and what she's saying, and I just like the production of it. There's a lot of cool noises going on, and I don't know, it's just different, it's unique, and I thought it was really cool. So I wanted to sit down and figure out what gave that its sound and kind of reverse engineer it and use it as a practice tool, as an exercise to work on timing, because that's something that's so important, something I'm always trying to work on, something especially I've been working on a lot recently. I kind of found myself rushing a little more than I used to, so I'm trying to beat that out of me, and I'm looking for any kind of creative exercise I can to work on those types of things. And there's not a better way you can work on timing than with a loop pedal, especially if you have a beat going. Metronomes are good and everything, but that gets kind of redundant and boring and uninspiring. But you can sit here with a loop pedal, especially if you want to kick on a drum beat and have a drum beat going with it and try to loop along to the drum beat. You'll really know if you're in time or not, right? Trying to kick that on the one, kick it off on the one, because if you don't, your loop's not going to sync up with the drums. And it's always good practice to sit there and do these types of things. So we'll go over some of the signature kind of riffs that are in the song that make the song the song. There is kind of like some ambient guitar noise in the background, like some like wah, feedback wah type of volume swells and some slides here and there, but we're not going to go over that. Just the chords, some of the licks, and then the vocal melody. We'll be using 6, sliding those around. Another great way to work on your timing and your hybrid picking, trying to match the tonality of her vocal melody and get everything in time. It's another great thing to work on that I'm always trying to work on. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the chords. Alright, so the chords of the song, there's just 3 chords, right? So we're just going to have G sharp major, C minor, and then we're going to play B flat, first inversion with D on the bottom, right? You can play it however you want. They don't play the inversion on the recording, but you know, we're kind of doing our own thing here. So the G sharp major, we're going to have thumb on 4, mute out the A, have 6, 5, 4, D, G, and B. I don't give it any vibrato, I just let it ring straight. Then we're going to go to C sharp. I leave out the root, I'm just going to play the triad here. So we just have 5 on D and G, 4 on the B string. Okay. Then we're going to go to this B flat over D, have 5 on D, bar D, G, and B on 3. Alright, so you can start a loop, 98 beats a minute, you can just play that over and over, right? Okay, then we're going to go down, we're going to play this little lick. We're basically mimicking some of what the bass is doing. The bass kind of does some different types of riffs throughout the song. So we're going to hammer on 1 to 3 on the low E, then get 1 on A, then pull off 3 to 1 on A, and go to 3 on the low E again. Okay, and this is what I was talking about with timing, right? You got to get out of this lick and get right back. So you go from with your thumb being behind the neck to your thumb being up on top, catching your root note on the 4th fret low E string, back to your G sharp major, right? Okay, then we're going to do like this little kind of Motown Jimmy type of lick. So after we get to C sharp the second time, or sorry, we get to B flat, just keep that bar down on 3rd fret. And we're just going to bar D, G, and B on 3, then hit D and G together, hammer on to 5 on the D, then bar G and B on 3, hammer on to 5 on G, then hammer on, pull off, and then land 5 on D. Okay, so you'd have Okay, so that's the whole chords. Those are all the licks that you play, and just for the verse and throughout the whole song, right? You can kind of loop that. And then I just do like some power chords, just adding in some more low end. Whenever you're looping, it helps to have some low end and just have some bass going on. Even though I had a bass line on the drum loop, it still makes it sound better. So I'm just doing these little power chords, just root and fifth, right? Just 4 and 6, E and A for your G sharp, and then 8 and 10 for your C on E and A, and then 6 and 8 E and A for your B flat. This is another thing that's good to work on, right? Is I'm trying to not scrape the strings as I'm doing this, right? So I'm trying to lift up. It's all these little nuances that you really start to pick apart, you know, as you start growing as a guitar player. You're like, okay, I gotta get rid of that, get rid of that. You stop accepting little imperfections, right? And you start trying to find ways to get rid of kind of sloppiness, I guess you could say, right? So work on that, just work on trying to not go like, you know, I get 1 or 2 in there, but I try to just things you hear when you go to record and you're like, man, I didn't know I was doing all that. I didn't hear all that. And so it's good to work on these things and do little exercises like this with songs, and you can start to pick apart your playing and notice little things you do, so you can kind of nip those in the bud before they start to become like a bad habit, right? So after we do that, then we have this little part. I have this little auto wah. You can kind of use whatever you want, and there's just this little lick that goes on at the end. There's kind of this funky like organ type of thing, and then you hear a wah more towards the chorus. And we're just doing this little lick here, 7 on G to 8 on D to 5 on D, and then we'll go 5 on G to 8 on D to 5 on D. Okay, so it's 7 8 5 to 5 8 5. So you have 7 G 8 D to 5 D, then 5G, 8D to 5D. And that just goes on at the end, right? Okay, and then the other little thing, there's like this kind of like, I don't know, it almost sounds like that little thing that's at the beginning of Strawberry Fields on the Beatles. So I was just using a Pog, trying to get that kind of flavor of it, that little... So all we're doing is we're just going to go 8 to 10. We're just going to hammer on, pull off 8 to 10 on D. Then hammer on, pull off 6 to 8 on D. Then hit 5 on D, hammer on to 6. Then slide in 6 to 8. Then slide in again. Go back to 6 on D, give it a little vibrato. All this stuff is timing, right? So there's like all these little nuances, especially when you're looping, just to try to get it to sit in the pocket, have everything kind of mesh together well in the loop, and just try to mimic the song, right? So, and then that little ba-na-bom, then the wah comes in, right? So those are all the licks there, those are all the chords, and then we get into the vocal melody. So let's go ahead and get into the vocal melody part. Alright, so for the verse part, we're going to be using all 6 intervals out of E flat major. And the trick with this is just getting it to sit in the pocket, to get it playing in time, and get it to have a singing vocal quality. So that's why we're doing this. I'm really trying to beat the rushing out of my body. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm doing everything I can to get rid of it, whether I'm playing with a drum beat or not. It gets worse for me when I don't have a drum beat, but I'm really trying to get my timing better and just get my feel better, and just really, just everything, man. You know, like, guitar is hard. It really is. It's hard. And the more you progress, the more you realize, like, damn, I don't know shit. Like, it's crazy. Like, the better you get, the worse you feel you are, and the more you feel like you don't know. It's kind of crazy, but I know I'm starting to turn a corner, because I'm starting, I don't know, anytime you start feeling like your playing's getting worse, but you're practicing more, you're about, like, something's about to happen. You're on the verge of having like a breakthrough. So I'm being real picky. I'm trying to get every little nuance in. I'm trying to make sure my timing is on the one, on the beat, in the pocket, and really trying to drive that into just my natural tempo, my internal timing, right? So anyway, enough chat. So with this, we're doing all these 6 patterns, hybrid picking, pick and finger, on the D and G and on the A and G strings. So you can be as specific as you want with this. All the notes will be the same. There's like a little bridge breakdown, but all the 6 will be there. You just need to kind of arrange it differently to follow the melody, just kind of phrase it different. So we start out. So we're gonna have 6 on D and G. Slide into 8. Give it some vibrato back to 6. Then I'm going to hit 5-4 on D and B. I'm going to hit it once, then hit it again. Then I'm going to slide in to 6 on D and hammer on to 6 on B at the same time. Okay, so we have, this is that sexy to someone, right? Then we go down to 3rd fret, D and B, give that some vibrato. Okay, then I'm going to slide up. I'm going to slide up into 10 on A. Sometimes I slide, sometimes I don't, just however you feel it. Then I'm going to pick twice, 10 on A and 8 on G together. Then we're going to slide down 8-7 A and G to 6 and 5 A and G. Then we're going to go 5-3 A G, slide down to 3 and 1 A and G. That's really the toughest part, is getting that in time, getting that to slide down and match how her vocal melody goes. She kind of goes to this falsetto and goes into this lower vocal register that we're trying to follow, right? So your first part. Okay, the second time is going to change. We're going to go. So the second time, we're going to go 6-8, slide in, go back to 6, then go 5-4, DG. Then we're going to go 1st fret on D and B, hit those together. All these are going to be D and B, so if I say something wrong, I'm sorry. So it's all just DB here, right? After you hit the 1st fret twice on D and B, we're going to slide in 3 to 6, then go back and hit 3. Okay. Then we go back and we do that little walk down again. This will always be the same, right? So 10-8, hit it twice on A and G, slide back 8-7 A and G to 6-5 A and G, and then 5-3 to 3-1 A G. Okay, so first half we have. Okay, then we're going to repeat that again. Okay, same thing, right? We're just going to go 6-8 slide, back to 6, then 5-4 DG, then 1st fret, hit it twice, then slide in 3 to 6, go back to 3rd fret, D and B. Sometimes she'll hit this twice. Just follow the vocal melody however you want to hit it, right? Okay, then you walk that down, 10-8, slide down 8-7 to 5-6, then slide down 5-3 to 3-1. You can experiment with your fingerings here. I like to use my middle and index. It would make more sense to use your middle and ring. I just like to keep my leading finger on the G string the whole time. Okay, so after that, you can just walk back. And you can just hit these little 6s if you wanted to, just to kind of cap it off. You can go 10 and 8, A and G, to 8 and 7, A and G. Alright, so that's your whole vocal melody, and then you can kind of adjust it if there's like a little bridge part or something, and you can kind of adjust the phrasing as you see fit, or if there's any kind of changing she does in the second verse, right? So real slow, we have. Okay, then it turns around, and every time it turns around, it does that little wah thing. The wah is more in the chorus. At the end of the verse, into the chorus, it does the wah. And then there's, I think during the verses, it's more of that kind of like, I don't know what you call it, that little keyboard kind of riff that's kind of from like Strawberry Fields. And that's everything, right? So that's the whole vocal melody with the 6. And then you have all the notes that you need, you have all the patterns that you need. Then you can just kind of change the phrasing up if you want to match it exactly as you're playing along to it. So that's the verse part, and then let's go ahead and get into the chorus. Alright, so for the chorus part, this is really the coolest part of the song, and this is something you could definitely take away and apply to your own playing. So we're going to be doing these double stop thirds at an E flat major, and we're just trying to mimic the falsetto parts that she sings and the melody that she sings in the chorus. And I just kind of view all this as the thirds patterns that I've memorized, right? But you could also see it as like breaking up parts of like a larger chord, like a C shape B flat major. You could view it. I just kind of view them all as their own separate thing. You also have like your E flat, and you could see it as breaking however you want to view it, right? I just kind of view it all as these third patterns. I just kind of view it all as that. But basically we're going to start out, we're going to slide into 12 and 11 on G and B, give it some vibrato. It's really cool. It's got this kind of cascading effect as we try to follow the vocal melody, right? That's why it's fun to sit down and figure stuff out, because you may end up playing something in a way that you might not have otherwise ever thought to do on your own. So we're going to go 12, 11, G and B, give it some vibrato. Then we're going to go 10, 11, G and B. Then we're going to go 13, 12, D and G. Then 12 and 10, D and G. Then bar D and G on 10. Then we're going to get 13 and 12 on A and D. That's that sexy to somebody part. Sexy to, when you say it like that. The sexy to somebody, no, 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 no. However it goes, right? Alright, so after you get to 13 and 12 on the A and D, then we're going to slide in, work right out of E flat major pentatonic, slide into 8 to 10 on A, then bar D and G on 8, then hammer on to 10 on D, hit both of those together, D and G, then bar G and B on 8, hit those together, then hit 10 on D by itself. Then we're just going to slide in from 10, 9 G and B up to 12 and 11 G and B. Okay, so we have... Okay, then we have that, oh, I need a reason to get out of the house. And we're trying to mimic that vocal melody, right? We're going to do that by sliding backwards on these. So here, and then after you go 12, 11, we're going to bar 8 on G and B, then hit 10 and 9 G and B twice, then go back to 8 on G and B, then we're going to slide back 12, 11 to 10, 9 on GB, then bar 8 on G and B, do that twice. Then after you slide back twice, we're going to slide in from 10-9 to 12-11 back to 10-9. And then bar, hit G and B on 8. Then hit 10 on D. Then we're going to slide in and back 10-9, 12-11 back to 10-9, right? So I know it's a lot, so... Okay, oh, it's just the little things, I can't live without, whatever she sings. Okay, so then we have... That last ending part of the chorus, we'll have bar G and B on 8, then 10 and 9 on G and B, hit it twice, back to G and B on 8, then I'm going to slide up to 12, 11, and then I'm going to pick it and slide back to 10 and 9. Okay, then I Can't Live Without. Then we're going to walk up, slide into 13, 12, D and G, then 12, 10, D and G, then 10 and 8, D and G, then slide in 8 to 10 on A, and bar D and G on 8, right? Straight out of your E flat major pentatonic. Okay, so real slow, everything together. Okay, you could finish it, you could hammer on. You could hammer on to D on 10 if you wanted. And you could also play those little 6s at the end. Then the wall part, and then it just repeats, right? And then it just keeps going. So that's that little chorus line. Alright, so that's the whole chorus, and that's really the coolest part of this song. Everything else is working on timing, trying to time the vocal melody, trying to time the chords with the loop, trying to get everything to sit right and sound like the song, and then trying to get the chorus melody to sound like what she's singing. And it's so much fun, right? It's just that little cascading line of just... I mean, you can walk that all the way down wherever you want to go, right? Walk it all the way up, all the way down, and you can kind of start seeing your thirds patterns on each pair of strings if you don't already know that. It's really useful. But that's the whole chorus melody, right? So the song is a lot of fun to play. There's a lot, like I said, man, everything is just timing, 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 timing. That's why we're doing this. We're just trying to have some fun, because sitting there with a metronome or just a plain drum beat gets kind of boring. But if you're working with a song that you know, especially something that's simple, it's just like 3 chords, it's really not simple when you start adding all these things into it, putting licks in between, trying to get everything on the one with your loop, making sure it's in time, trying to get everything to sit in the pocket with the vocal melodies and everything. It's really not as easy as it seems. Okay, so like really dig in, really try to work on your timing with these kinds of things, and it'll just make you better every time you do something like this. So then you can work on, you know, just anything you know that has, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to play in any kind of major pentatonic, just try to add these kind of licks, use these kind of double stops that you've learned here, and apply them to other things that you already know, and you can start kind of adding that stuff and putting more color into your playing and soloing and stuff like that. But anyway, man, it's a cool song. I really dig. I haven't heard anything else she's done. I've only heard this song, but I really like it. I like kind of the message that's in it. But anyway, that's all. Just have fun with it. Practice slow. I'll see you next time.